Hi, this is Rob Curto here at Liberty Bellows in Philadelphia. Welcome back to our video series on groove creation for the accordion. In today's video, we'll continue our study of the blues shuffle, but this time we'll add a Zydeco riff in the right hand while continuing to play the bass pattern we learned in our last video. Then we'll add a turnaround, a pattern designed to signal the end of the 12-bar blues and a repeat to the beginning of the cycle. First, let's review the bass pattern from our last video. In the key of C, we'll play the following pattern in 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, in order to play the entire blues progression, we'll repeat this pattern twice in C, once in F, and once again in C. Then we'll play half the pattern in G, half the pattern in F, and finally the full pattern once more in C. It looks and sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's learn a 2-measure Zydeco riff that with a few slight variations we can play over each chord of our 12-bar blues. Our riff will mainly utilize the notes of a C pentatonic or 5-note scale: C, D, E, G, and A. We can play it like this. Sometimes, depending on the chord we're playing over, we'll change our E natural to an E flat, which is a blues note in the key of C. Then our scale sounds like this. This second scale is similar to a blues scale. Both pentatonic and blues scales are used in Zydeco music, an amazing dance style from Louisiana. Zydeco features the accordion and mixes many styles of American music in a very distinctive way. Here's what our riff sounds like in the key of C, together with the bass line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with just the right hand, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. To play our riff in C, we can start with our first finger on C, our second on E flat, third on E natural, and fifth on G. First we'll play an E flat and G for 1/8 note, immediately moving to the E natural for 3/8 notes. That sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This is a typical pattern for blues and Zydeco, which can be repeated on its own like this. For our riff, though, we'll then play the notes of the C pentatonic to make the following phrase. Notice that I use my first finger on the C, and then I tuck my thumb under so that I can get my second finger on the A and my first finger again on the G. Again, one more time slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to finish our phrase, I'm going to play the exact same thing we did in our last video, where we played a C7 in the first inversion on the ands or upbeats of each beat in our second measure. So the first measure is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our second measure is 1, 2, 3, 4. So putting it all together, it looks and sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our phrase. We're going to play it twice over the C7 chord, equaling 4 measures. Now, when we get to the F7 chord, we're going to play a similar phrase, almost the exact same phrase, except we're going to start on D. Instead of going from E flat to E, like this, we're going to go from D to E flat. That can be played over the F7. It sounds like this. The reason for this is that our E flat is in the F7 chord and our E natural is not. So the F7 version of the riff sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go back and play it one more time in C. Now we're almost through the blues progression. Let's listen to everything up till now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice on the F7 version of the riff, we used our F7 chord in the third inversion. It sounds like this. Now, to finish the blues progression, we're going to play half of the pattern in the key of G. So we're going to switch, instead of playing it up here, we're going to play it down here with our first finger on G, our second finger on B flat, our third finger on B natural, and our fifth finger on D. That sounds like this. With E and D down here, that's using a G pentatonic scale. And then we're going to play it once in F, using an F pentatonic scale. And finally going back to C for one more complete version of the riff to finish up the progression. Now if we play our entire 12-bar pattern with both hands, it looks and sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Congratulations on learning to play a Zydeco riff over a 12-bar blues bass pattern. Now let's add a final element, the turnaround. A turnaround is a chord progression or a bass line that signals the end of the form and a repeat back to the beginning, usually with the use of a 5 chord, which in this case will be G7. For our 2-measure turnaround, we'll use the same C riff for the first measure, and then a G7 chord in the third inversion on the upbeats in the second measure. The whole thing sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the same time that we're playing this 2-measure phrase in our right hand, we'll play the following in the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll play C, E, F, F sharp for the first measure with our fingers 3, 4, 5, 2, and then G, A, B flat, and B natural with our fingers 3, 2, 5, 3. The whole thing again sounds like this. Now, if we play both hands together, the last 2 measures of our modified blues form will sound like this. Now, if we put all 3 parts together, our blues bass line, our Zydeco riff, and the turnaround, it looks and sounds like this. Congratulations on learning to play a 12-bar blues shuffle with a bass line, a right-hand Zydeco riff, and a turnaround. Stay tuned for our next video where we'll learn some variations and ideas for improvisation.